Hello, I'm Simon from CareCo and I'm going to show you how to assemble the Eterniti rising recliner chair. Although I'm going to do this by myself, we would advise that you have a friend or a relative to help you due to the weight of some of the components. However, as I've mentioned, I'll show you how to do this now. I've taken the parts out from the box and I've laid them out in front of me. We have the backrest of the Eterniti and the main chair itself. On the floor here I have the transformer for the power, and I've taken the handsets, two of them, out from the side pocket. First of all, we have the massage handset, and then behind it we have the main handset which operates all the functions of the chair, up and down, and for the backrest and leg rest. We'll start by fitting the backrest to the main part of the chair. As you can see, I've laid the backrest on top of the chair itself. The back part where your back rests is actually face down, and the back of the chair is face up towards myself. At the base of the backrest there is a zip, and I'm going to undo the zip because in there are 5 cables that need to connect to the main body of the chair. These are for the motors inside the chair and also the heat and massage function. I'm taking them out and I'm going to count the 5 wires, and I'm going to leave them just trailing, but this ensures that when we put the backrest onto the main chair, we don't accidentally trap them in the mechanism. In order to fit the backrest, I'm now going to lift, and this is where someone's help may be of use to you, to hold the weight of the backrest as it's lowered down into the framework. Within this pocket that we've opened to remove the wires, you can have access to the framework, and you can see where the actual frame is going to clip onto the framework of the body of the chair. But I'm now going to lift this up. I'm going to kneel down to help support myself, and I'm going to align the backrest onto the chair. Once in position, I can now rotate the backrest towards me and then push down firmly on the backrest so that it clicks into position. You will have heard an audible click once it's in position, and I give the chair a firm shake to ensure that it won't lift out again. So that is now securely in place, and we move on to connecting the electrical connections at the base. Initially it may look a little daunting with all the several cables coming out from the backrest. However, everything's colour coordinated or labelled correctly so that you can fit them easily. We're going to start with the motors that are situated for the headrest and the lumbar support. These are the thicker cables with these large plugs on the end, and as you can see they're labelled for the headrest and the lumbar. These fit in to the control box at the back of the chair, which again are labelled to show you which one goes into which socket. So I'm going to place them underneath. It's important that they go behind this back piece of wood here. So it goes behind, and then I locate into position the correct parts. So the headrest clicks into the headrest socket, and the lumbar support fits into the lumbar support, as you can see. We now have another cable, which is a very large cable with several connectors in there, and this connects to the actual handset for the heat and massage. Now this is situated down inside the framework, and as you can see, I connect this as so. With those connected, we're now just left with these other cables, again, which are colour coordinated. So from within the chair, we have got a white and a red plug, and on the backrest itself, we have a red plug and the white plug. Connect those as so. We then have a green connecting cable which is translucent, And again, within the framework of the chair, we have the other end. You've got to ensure that the little clip goes at the top and that clips in. And then finally, we have the power for the heat and massage, which is the black cable with the plug and the socket. And we plug those in as so. We can then put the wires into the zipped area and zip that up. For the time being, I'm not going to fully install them because I want to make sure that when the chair moves up and down, that there's enough cable length for the chair to move. We can now put this piece of material from the backrest with Velcro onto the base of the chair as so. We may need to adjust this later once we've checked that none of the cables are going to snag as we lift the chair. With the Eterniti placed back the correct way and both handsets for the massage and normal usage on the armrest, it's now a case of connecting the transformer. This comprises of two components, the transformer itself and a 3-pin plug. We simply plug that in as so, and then this connection we connect to the connector that's located at the back of the chair. I've lifted the material at the back and I've located the plug at the back. I now just connect this to the socket and click together, and now I can plug this into the main socket. Once the mains is plugged in, both handsets should illuminate as so. For the heat and massage, we press the on-off button here and it will immediately start vibrating with the massage function. This can be controlled, and please watch our sales video of how this works. With the main handset, we're just going to check that we've connected everything correctly so that what it says on here is what the chair actually does. So starting at the top, by pressing the top left, the chair should raise, which it does. And then by pressing the top right button, the chair will go down. And we repeat these functions for all the items on the menus of the handset. But one of the main things that we need to do is to lift the chair all the way up so that we can ensure that none of the wires are going to foul on any of the framework. So I'm simply going to press the top left-hand button and raise the chair up, all the while just checking for the wires. If you do think that there's a wire caught, then stop immediately and remove it. Remember, if you're unplugging a cable, that you must remove it from the power in the mains unit. So with the chair fully raised, I can see that it's not fouling on anything, all the wires are clear and they're not going to catch or get caught in any of the mechanism. So it's now safe to bring the chair down and carry on testing. So checking the lumbar and the head positioning, we can see that the lumbar is coming out, and with the other button it's going back in again. So the lumbar's the correct. The headrest, as I press the left-hand button, the headrest comes towards us, and with the opposite button it goes away. We've then got the zero gravity button, which enables the chair to operate as so. So you'll notice both the backrest and the footrest are coming out. I'm going to stop the chair at this point because you can see one final part that we've not done is to connect the Velcro part from the seat base onto the back of the chair. So I'm going to place the handset in the pocket and then simply Velcro that section onto the backrest. We can now carry on with the function that we were showing. And you can see that the zero gravity brings your legs a lot higher than your hips. Obviously you can position that to your liking. Bring it back again. And we can return the Eterniti to its standard seated position. Although we've seen that the backrest does work, the final set of buttons, because we've already tested the up and down, will just operate the backrest. We can move the backrest away. It's not now lifting the leg rest up. Or again, if wanted, we can release and stop in that position, carry on, or bring it back up to a seated position. So there we've tested all the functions of the Eterniti. All the buttons correlate to the functions of the chair. And if you had any issues, if something was the wrong way around, just double check that you've gone the red to red and the white to white and so on. If you do have any questions, then please do contact our customer services team, or why not go into one of our showrooms located throughout the country.